This is Umar for BoxNation. We're in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I'm joined by the main man in boxing journalism now. Is that a controversial statement, Ariel?
No, I'm happy you said that. Thank you for the recognition. Not enough people are giving me said recognition. So it's good to see you, my friend, again, and it's good to be here for this massive event.
What we're referring to is, of course, obviously you do a lot of great work, Ariel, but something that stood out recently was when you had His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh on with Tyson, and from the other side of the world, Alexander Usyk and Igis Klimas, and that was must-watch for all sports fans, really.
Yeah, it was incredible, especially because it came together pretty much on an hour's notice, and it wasn't a typical day for us because usually we do our show on Mondays and Wednesdays, but we did a special edition on Saturday, and this was like less than 24 hours after the news came out that Tyson, suffered the cut. So enjoying doing more in the boxing space. Last week we had Eddie, Oscar, Ryan, and Devin in studio, back to back to back to back. So more to come, and I'm liking it a lot.
Good. Obviously you do great work in MMA, but the more boxing stuff, I'm all for it. I'm not sure if other people around here are.
Why?
But
You don't think people like it?
I'm sure they like it, but I don't think they like it that you're getting it, if that makes sense.
Why is that?
Oh, you know why.
Well, I don't know why.
You know why.
I'm an amicable guy. I'm a friendly guy. There's room for everyone to eat, in my opinion.
Well, let's talk about that whole situation when you had Tyson, Igis, especially those two on, because you can't prepare for something like that. They were going at each other, more Tyson really, after Igis made some comments, let's say. That must have been a whirlwind for you, that experience.
Yeah. Well, because, just as you said, like a few hours after the news came out, Igis had made some comments about Tyson being a coward, and there was one comment that I wasn't sure if he was talking about Tyson's wife or someone on his team. And the interview kind of started off like it was a bit of a roller coaster because it started off a little slow, and then Tyson just kind of unleashed. And there seemed to have been like mutual respect and understanding between Usyk and Tyson, but then Tyson then addressed Igis with a few things that he wanted to talk about, and then it kind of popped off, and Mr. Al-Sheikh in there trying to kind of mediate in between, and he ended up being somewhat the star of the show. So yeah, it was quite the buzz on a Saturday afternoon. I was at my son's soccer game when I got the call to rally the troops and make this happen, and we live for that sort of thing. Breaking news, big opportunities, big interviews, so loved everything about it.
I think it's just made the fight bigger. So well done on making the undisputed fight bigger. It will happen May 18th in Riyadh, of course, here. What did you make of the pictures last night as well? You had Cristiano Ronaldo, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua with His Excellency. Just things you think are AI generated, but they're actually happening.
Well, especially because of Francis. Because AJ, world-renowned, Tyson, world-renowned, Cristiano Ronaldo, obviously world-renowned. But to see Francis come over from the UFC, and especially the way he was kind of criticized and mocked for leaving the UFC, for having the stones to leave the UFC, and now to see him among those giants of the sports world, so happy for him. Like everyone in the MMA community, I think we all just want good fights and clean fights and all that stuff, but you can't help but be happy for Francis to see him come up to this point, to bet on himself, to believe in himself. So that was the thing that jumped out at me, is like, man, go ahead, Francis. You do your thing, represent. It's a beautiful thing. I love everything about it.
I was more referring to what jumped out at me was seeing Tyson and Anthony in the same room.
Of course, that jumped out at me too. I mean, multiple things. Tyson standing right next to Francis. Tyson and Anthony standing next to each other, before Anthony's about to fight, and given their history. But selfishly, or a bit of a bias, I'm saying like, Francis, you could say maybe one of these things is not like the other, and Francis being the outsider, so to speak, coming in, and now his stardom has reached the level of these guys. 2 years ago, that wasn't the case. It's pretty remarkable.
Make the case that Francis Ngannou beats Anthony Joshua this Friday here in Riyadh.
Yeah, I don't have to make such a strong case. Francis Ngannou fears no one. He has an incredible chin. I get a little bit annoyed when people say like, oh, he's 0-1 as a fighter. No, he's not. He's had 20 MMA fights. And yes, I know the skill set is different, but it's not like he's some guy off the street. He's not an influencer jumping in there with literally one fight under his belt. You see what happens when the lights are shining on him brightest. He steps up, and obviously it's going to be a different fight. I expect it to be a tougher fight for him. I expect AJ to be prepared. I expect AJ to fight a very smart, measured, calculated fight. He has a tremendous corner by his side. He had a tremendous 2023. but Francis Ngannou hits like a truck, and if he lands one of those with a guy who has been rocked before by lesser punches, it could be trouble for Anthony Joshua. So if you're sleeping on Tyson, once again, I would say first time around, shame on you, shame on everyone else, but this time it's shame on you because he already showed you what he can do when the lights are shining brightest.
Just to close off, what do you make of the love-in between Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren?
This is great stuff. I kind of feel like they're pals, but they keep each other at a distance, right? Like the second someone turns their back, the other one is ready to hit him with a club to the head. But it's very nice. It's good for the sport. I wish we would see this in MMA, promoters working together, and I hope to see more of it in boxing. It's great to see Eddie and Oscar up there. Even though there's tension, that's fine. The tension is great. I love the drama. It's just when they refuse to work with each other, like PBC not working with other people, that hurts us, the fans, the media. That hurts the sport, the fighters. So they don't need to be best friends. They don't even have to eat together. They don't even have to like each other. Just do business because everyone wins, and you see out here, everyone's winning. Everyone eats. Rising tide lifts all boats.
We're looking forward to that 5v5 on June 1st. That's going to be a special night.
May 18th, June 1st, the 5v5. Obviously, the headliner is incredible. Better be a Bivol. So, yeah, I mean, what a time for boxing. Boxing is on fire right now. Drives me crazy when people say boxing is dead. They don't have any idea what they're talking about. They're delivering big fights week after week after week. It's a tremendous time. It's a time of change, right? Showtime is out of the game now. We'll see about Amazon and PBC. DAZN is really upping their game as the leader. You got TNT, you have Sky still involved, ESPN doing their thing in America. I mean, if you're a boxing fan, every single weekend there's at least one intriguing fight that you have to watch. What more could you ask for?
And you get some great boxing content on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Cool, man.
Thanks.